Hi folks, today we are going to demonstrate how to build a 3-meter TRIGA Max tri-tower. 3 meters high, no ladder, no tools, just 2 sets of reliable hands. And the great thing about this build is that the features that TRIGA Go doesn't have, that TRIGA Max does have, will be demonstrated with this particular product. We'll talk through them as we go along. So remember, always refer to the data pack that is inside the kit bag with your TRIGA kit. There's the part list on the reverse side, and there's the diagram on the front to show you how to assemble the parts. Always work from the bottom up. Right, we've organized our parts like for like, all neatly laid out so that we don't have to mission around trying to find things. Working from the bottom up, we're going to start with the feet. We're going to build the bottom section first, and we're separately going to build the top section and then stack them together when we're ready to stack the tower. But it's important to lock in the system at the bottom, especially with TRIGA Max when we're going high. We don't want the poles toppling over, damaging anything. The system won't get damaged, but you might give someone a bit of a bruise if it falls on their head. So let's lock in the base, and then we can start building the tops. Remember, your bottom crossbars have got the traveling tensioners at the bottom. Those will face down, so when we spring the tensioner, it must spring into a downward position. Now this is one of the features that TRIGA Go doesn't have. So we're locking in the crossbars at 45-degree angles. As you can see, that is something that only TRIGA is unique to TRIGA Max. Right, so we've got that section set aside. We're going to start assembling the top section of the tri-tower. It's very important, on the extrusions there's a groove. Those grooves correspond with a groove in the locator. You need to make sure that when you set the top half, that all of the grooves are in the same direction as the bottom half, so that when we assemble the top onto the bottom, everything will locate correctly. Check here. Right, so that's the uprights and the crossbars of the top section assembled. We're going to fit the graphic rails. There's 3 on the top and 3 on the bottom. Now this is another feature that TRIGA Max has that TRIGA Go doesn't have, and that is the curved extrusion. So with TRIGA Max, we can CNC curve the graphic rails and the crossbars to give you kind of a curved effect, which we cannot do with TRIGA Go. Right, we're going to fit the bottom uprights. Now this technique you can use on manageable towers where 2 people can support the system. It's not advised to do it on bigger structures like L booths or U booths or really large kind of rectangular towers. There it's advisable to use a ladder. Right, okay, we've got two sections, top and bottom. What we're going to do before we assemble the top onto the bottom, we're going to pre-fit the print, let it hang, then we're going to place the top section onto the base, tuck the prints in the bottom and tension. So TRIGA Max prints, the same as TRIGA Go prints, same material, the same plastic webbing, just slight differences on the dimensions that are suitable to a TRIGA Max setup. So we're going to find the top of the print, which is there, and we're going to fit the top of the print. Alphonse will fit and I'll feed. So it's a good idea when you're working in twos to get one person to fit the webbing into the groove and then the other person just to support the print and feed it as they go along. You don't really want your beautiful print dragging on the floor. And you're obviously going to have quite a bit of excess because the rest of this print needs to cover the bottom section. So just hold it up while your colleague is tucking in the webbing. Right, I'm just going to hand that part to Alphonse. Okay, now we're ready to stack the tower. So we're just going to move this across. We're going to bring the bottom section back into frame. Alphonse, I'm going to ask you to hold that there. Right, so we've got bottom section in place and we're ready to stack the top part of the tower. Right. Now, we're going to lift this section onto the bottom, lock it in place. Okay, so we've got the tower set up, no ladders. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to tension the print once we've fitted the bottom graphic rails. To rotate this thing. Okay. Everything's good to go. So now from the bottom, we start fitting the print into the bottom graphic rails. And the last thing we do once the bottom's fitted is we activate the bottom tensioners. So it'll give us a nicely tensioned print. And there we have a 3-meter tower, full build, 2 people, no ladders required. TRIGA Max.